is up, my people? JaxB.TheRipper here. Little update. If I sound like crap still, is like I was getting better, but then fire season all of a sudden snuck up upon us, and the pollen in the air and everything right now is like making me feel like crap. It's to the point where my nose is bleeding every now and then. So who knows, I might have to go to urgent care tomorrow if I still feel this way, or the next day. I hope not. I've bought like every medication under the roof for like every single different thing. I'm tired of it. So yeah, I'm not feeling the best, and I had to leave work early too because I felt nauseated and I thought I was gonna faint. So yeah, little update there, but I'm alive. No, the fires rarely hit here. I don't know, maybe because we're more concrete jungle around here where I live. At least that's what I like to believe. But we're not like in the hills or anything like that. I'm not stupid. Look, even if I were like to make the next day I'd make $1 billion or millions of dollars or whatever, I never will be stupid enough to live in the hills. I'm just, no, that's more of a transplant thing because that's usually where the fires hit first. So yeah, I'm okay. Thankfully, living here my whole life, never had any scares of evacuation, thankfully. Hopefully this time filming this video will go well smoothly because I filmed it a couple days ago and I filmed it on my iPhone, and I don't know what it is. Every time when I try to film a video on my iPhone, because like my camera battery wasn't charged, it just fucks up when I try to like upload it to my MacBook Air, and then, you know, I don't know, something always goes wrong. Those of you that are new here, I do my stuff kind of differently. Yes, there's going to be some stuff that I listen through the year, but there's also going to be some random ones here and there that are probably not. So just keep that in mind. So let's start off with Delane. A lot has happened with this band since like 2020 in general, or even before that, I think in 2019. There has been huge lineup changes, and I know Martin and Charlotte, is like both interviews I've seen, they said that they basically said the same thing, like there needed to be changes done but nothing was being done, and they had almost all through COVID to decide and nothing went through. But anyways, Charlotte left, and she felt like it was just the only option she had, and then Martin, I know he kind of said like it was a little bit more heartbreaking when she left or something. I don't know, they both seemed to be on good terms, but at the same time it wasn't the way they wanted it to end, let's just say that. But I read both interviews and seen the interviews, and yeah, regardless, it's not the way how they wanted it to end. But I noticed with Diana, the new singer, when she came along last year, I didn't want to give her a chance. I really didn't, you guys. I'm not gonna lie. I was like, oh, I'm just gonna throw in the towel with that band. But then Dance with the Devil came out, and I started listening to it, and I even like how she did some of the not remakes, but you know, when she sang like April Rain and all the other old school ones from Delane, I was like, she's not bad at all. She's actually really good. It's not too much of a change with Delane, but I also, oh, I thought there was something crawling right there, but okay, that fucking okay. It's like a change that was needed, unfortunately, even though I love Charlotte, but it was some kind of, let's face it, I kind of felt like it was sounding the same, but now with like a new singer, I felt like that's the right change we needed, but it also wasn't too different that the sound takes away from Delane. And that's what I feel with Dance with the Devil and Dark Waters. Okay, Charlotte's Wessels, you know, am I saying her last name? No, it has to be Wessels. I feel like I'm saying Wetzel Pretzels. And then with this sinuses, I'm like, I'm just snuffly. Anyways, The Obsession. If you listen to The Exorcism or even Dopamine, that shit's a lot more harder than what she was with Delane. So if you want some more aggression and you just didn't think Delane was aggressive enough, definitely listen to The Obsession. Then you're gonna like it. It's a lot more darker. There are some previous band members from Delane as well that are with her in this album. She also has one song with Elisa Whiteglues. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what it is, but every time Elisa Whiteglues does a collaboration with someone, I don't like it. I just don't. It definitely, video and song, that was like the one song I just skipped. And I like Alyssa, and when I find out that she's collaborating with someone, I think she even did one with Simone. It was Simone Simmons sometime in the year. Regardless, it's not my favorite. We're not even going to touch that. It's not even a song I want to worth reviewing, to tell you the truth. It just was not my favorite. Anyway, honestly, with this album, I even feel if she wants to come out with her next album, she wants to add a little bit of black metal, she really can. So this is interesting to hear more stuff from her in the future. Arch Enemy Blood Dynasty. Okay, so there's 3 songs that Arch Enemy came out with in 2024 that, and one of them is Blood Dynasty, and that's going to be the album's name coming this year. They have a new guitar player, Joey. He does really good guitar solos, like melodic guitar solos, so I'm very, very pleased with that. You know, Michael is always kicking ass. I really enjoyed this song. I know people said it was a little different, like it didn't really sound like Arch Enemy. It was more like there was an Arch Enemy influence in it, and people were saying the same things with Liars and Thieves. It's funny because that one I kind of agree more with what they said, like it sounds like Arch Enemy influences, because I remember when I was first getting into Arch Enemy at 18 years old. I'm 36 now, but I remember when I was first getting into them. At first, you know, at that time, I don't even think it was talked about that time how many subgenres in metal was until like a couple years later. So I'm over here thinking, oh, I think it's a thrash band. I was calling them a thrash band for a long time. And it's funny, here comes this song, Liars and Thieves, and it sounds like thrash metal with Arch Enemy influence. Now, the one that people were saying that did sound like a pure Arch Enemy song is Dream Stealer. That one is also really good. However, if I had to be nitpicky, I kind of get annoyed a little bit when Alyssa says Dream Stealer, but it's kind of like you go overlook it. I don't know, it's kind of off, I don't know. But anyway, I think in all 3 of those songs, Dream Stealer, people were saying, and I kind of agree with this too, is like it sounded a little bit more aggressive, where the other 2 songs it kind of sounded like it was a little bit more cleaner. And I do feel like with this album, people are probably going to be split down the middle, and some people were even say with Liars and Thieves it kind of had like a little bit of Metallica in it too. So I mean, you guys be the judge. You guys let me know if you hear that. They said they also heard the Motorhead in that one too. Annette Olson. Okay. Rapture. I only like 5 songs out of here. I feel weird for putting the album on there when there was only really like 5 songs. Like the song Arise, Rapture, Requiem, Take a Stand, and Day of Wrath. Those are really like maybe the songs I was listening to the most out of it. Really, it just sounds like she's getting biblical on us, but you know what? I'd rather listen to that than Striper. So it's just like, it wasn't that bad, like, but it was really good. There was a lot more like angrier, aggressive vocals on here too, compared to her other 2 albums, which was more kind of sad and dark, and this is just like angry and dark. So I kind of like it. So, and here's where we're going into stuff that didn't come out from, you know, this year. We're gonna talk about Samael, Ceremony of the Opposites. That had to have been one of my favorite albums to listen to last year. I keep saying this year. We're already in 2025, Jack. Stop doing that. But from last year, basically, you guys don't know, I have this segment called Metal in the Occult, and I was like looking into Samael, the Archangel, and then there was the band. So I was like, oh, cool, I could talk about this. I wish I would have listened to them sooner. I've always heard of the band, but it was never one of those like I really cared on investing. They're part of like the second wave of black metal, because somebody had to correct me in the comments and make sure I got everything correct. Really wanted to make sure that I knew that I was incorrect about a lot of stuff. I was like, okay. But they were the start of the second wave black metal. Really, there's a lot of transitions with this band. Is like black metal. They started off as extreme metal, then there's like industrial, then there's like goth, and then, you know, but they make it work though. They make it work and blend in so well, and that's usually hard when you want to add multiple subgenres of music in your work and then still be called metal, you know. So it's kind of difficult, but they're able to make it sound that way. So yeah, I've been listening to a lot of them, in general, a lot of their stuff, but Ceremony of the Opposite was the one that probably pulled me in more. I don't know, because it just kind of sounds more gothic-y, and then a little bit more, it's funny because I'm not into goth stuff, but I kind of think like Transylvanian goth when I'm listening to this, like a Transylvanian kind of vampiric situation when I'm listening to this album. But yeah, it's probably one of my favorite albums from them so far, and I have listened to a few, and if you want to see the video, go over here, or at the end of I don't know where I'm going to put it out, to tell you the truth, but yeah, there's a whole video that I talk about more about them. Oh, you're all gonna laugh at this. American Satan by The Relentless. Yes, I know, you're like, Jax, that's a movie. I know, okay, but let me enjoy the album at least. It introduced me to Remington Lee. You know, in case you guys don't like Andy Biersack, fear not. his vocals is not on here. The production of the film could not afford to buy the rights to Andy's vocals. Am I saying that right? Voice? Music? I don't know. From the record label he was on. So that's why they got Remington Lee, which really it goes better. I feel like that goes a lot better with the movie American Satan than Andy Biersack's voice would, to tell you the truth. But it's just like, it's a really good rock band. Like, it's supposed to be like a rock / metal band, and they do a good job collaborating, you know, of the sounds of like classic rock today, a bit of grunge and metal. So it was like all over the place, but the classic style of rock was in there, and I think that's why I loved it so much, to the fact that they can modernize it. I still haven't seen Paradise City. I do want to watch it and review it, but I hate Bella Thorne, and as soon as I saw she was in that, not even like 10 minutes in, I was like, I'm done. I'm just done. But let's see how I do this year. Maybe I'll be able to talk about it. Okay, I never learned how to say Remington Lee's band correctly, but because of American Satan, it introduced me to Palais Royale. Oh god, it's Death or Glory. The album came out this year. It's again, I'm sometimes wondering maybe that's where American Satan got like, or the Relentless, I should say, got their influence from, was maybe from Palais Royale, because there's a lot of similarities. It's basically the same band. To be fair, I've only listened to the 5th studio album. Death and Glory has a lot of variety, from like, it starts off like pop rock and pop punk, and the song Ache in My Heart, you can hear the zombies in it, like Time of the Season, you could hear like the influence in it, and then it goes down a dark little grungy road, and then it gets even darker, then there's like speed rock. A lot of blends in here with this album, and it works so well, and I'm very pleased with the past, you know, couple albums or songs I'm talking to you guys, like how they're able to do all these blends, because sometimes that just doesn't work, and we're gonna get to that band in just a minute. But Incantation, Absolute Elsewhere, this fucking psychedelic sci-fi death metal with a hint of maybe black metal. Nah, let's leave it. Nah, there's no black metal. What am I saying? The hell, that shit was so good. Album artwork is like inspired almost by like Yes. Like, if you've seen the artwork by Yes, oh, that used to be my favorite stuff to do when I used to do painting back in the day, oil painting. I used to love to try to recreate those artwork. I loved Yes artwork. I love all that psychedelic stuff. Starspawn was the last thing I heard of Black Incantation. I know, okay? But, and I always liked them, I always did, but holy shit, this one, especially with that first song and that psychedelic solo right there, it almost sounded like I was listening to something from the 70s. That's like a very class rock, almost throw in doom metal, why not? But it's like, it was such a sexy solo. That's like the weirdest thing to say. It was so sexy. That's going on to my sex playlist. It was almost like a hint of Traveler and Haunt mixed in there too. It was just all over the place. Again, these bands are doing so well, getting influences from other places and making it blend so beautiful. Dwayne's, the song Synthesizer, and apparently eventually I found out I've been listening to Dwayne for a while. I just didn't know. It's just he always like appeared on other people's songs or something like that. But anyways, this guy is literally like Lenny Kravitz meets Jim Morrison. They, them, probably. I don't know what's his pronouns. But his music is very interesting. It is more of today's, for sure, of everything that's going on. It's very modern rock as well. It's been fun listening to with this guy. I love this guy, and I do hope the best for him, and I do want to see more from him. And now for some stuff I did not enjoy. We're just gonna leave it like that, not enjoy. I'm not gonna say it's a dislike of the year. I'm just gonna say I didn't enjoy it, and who knows, maybe I'll grow into like it more later on and grow with it. I did not like Nightwish Yesterwind, and I know. Look, I'm not going to be biased just because it's a band, is one of my favorite all-time bands. I'm not going to be biased just because of that. Look, I understand what it was, though. After listening to it a few times, I understand what it was. It was just the fact that the vocals, at first, my first complaint, and you guys know this in the last album, my first complaint was that the fact I could not hear Floor's vocals at all. Like, I could barely hear it. But then when I looked into other people's reviews and what they talked about, they're like, well, it was more on a cleaner side. She was singing more clean. She wasn't using operatic vocals. Okay, now I understand. Although I don't know why people are making a big deal, like it's so cinematic. That's always been Nightwish. They've always been like a score mixed with metal, and you know, which is why it's called symphonic metal, I'm guessing. So I don't know why people are like acting like, oh yeah, very cinematic. I was like, that's how they always been. That's not surprising. And if anything, that's what you're expecting. But it was just the fact, look, a lot of the songs were not memorable. They just weren't. I listened to the first 5 songs over and over again because it's like, they're not memorable. It would not stick into my head. There was nothing really to remember. Is like, I'm sorry, but then I'm like, look, maybe this is just something I need to grow with later on. I don't know. There's a lot of albums like that with any band, to tell you the truth, but I'm not feeling this. That's just what I'm saying. I'm not feeling this. And I know Nightwish fans are like attacking everyone right now, and people are probably like, well, Floor went through a lot. I know Floor went through a lot. I'm not attacking her saying she's terrible. She's not a terrible singer. It's just the fact this is a style that I am not used to, and I'm not a real big fan of. And it's just because when I think of Nightwish, I do think of the operatic sound. Yes, they did go a little bit more commercialized with Annette, but I felt like that was a different style that worked really well with her, that I was able to appreciate. And this style that they're trying to go with Floor, I'm just not that into it. That's all I'm saying. Never will I mention she's not talented, because she is talented. It's just this is not what I'm going for, and that's it. So unfortunately, that's why I'm saying it's not my favorite, but it's not a bad album. It's just nothing I really care for. This one, on the other hand, oh wow, Marco Italia, who you know from Nightwish, you know, he left like in what, 2021 I think it was. He did a collaboration with Tarja, and I think the song was called like Left on Mars or Left in, I don't know, something about Mars. I completely hated this song. I can see why people will correct me more with this one. I could see more. Look, it's just, I hated it. It was so off with Tarja. And people were trying to say, well, it's because it's like tarot. That's what, I know who tarot is. I know, I have one of the fucking albums. I know a lot of the different bands that Marco Italia has been with, but I just felt like it was awkward. I don't know. I mean, I forgot what I said in the last video, but anyways, I'm over this. I don't want to talk about it anymore, because they were just, you know, I was disappointed. I'm not going to lie, but you know what? It ain't about me, okay? Anyways, that's it. I felt like I forgot something. Oh well, it's fine, whatever. Thanks you guys for watching, and here we go. Salud. My little Dragon Ball Z mug. Salud. Anyways, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.